LinkedIn profile keyword optimization, your prospect's compass to find you.
Welcome to our next episode of LinkedIn to Lead Generation with Hannah Tighe. Hannah, what are we talking about compasses here?
Sure. Well, a lot of people, when they actually create their profile, what they forget to do is to put in keywords that will allow them to show up in search when someone who's looking for their skills and expertise types in to try to find someone to help them. So we want to make sure that we are incorporating all of that into our profile so that we can get them and hired.
That sounds great. So what specifically do we want to cover in this episode together here?
Sure. So today we're going to talk about how you can find those keywords that you can start to incorporate into your profile. So number one, we're going to talk a little bit about looking at profiles that rank well for the things that you do or you want to be known for. We're also going to talk about some areas that we can incorporate those keywords that will, help you to show up. So for instance, in your title fields. And then also we are going to talk a little bit about making sure that those keywords are sprinkled throughout your profile.
Okay.
In the different areas.
Excellent. That all sounds like very good stuff. We're all hopefully working on our LinkedIn profiles, and now I am. So let's talk a little bit more about these keywords and how they can help people find you and navigate their way to you. So other people's profiles, I mean, that makes sense, right? So find other people who seem to be doing it right, but what should I look for?
Sure. So if you're going to create your profile or you're going to do some optimization to your profile, after you turn off your activity broadcast, what you want to make sure you do is you want to go ahead and look into, you can just go ahead and do a search on LinkedIn, okay? And if you go into advanced search, what you want to do is you want to click second degree connections, because otherwise it's just going to automatically default to the, all your first level connections. But you want to click second degree connections, and you want to look at the people that are showing up really well for the types of things that you want to show up for.
Okay, so I type in the keywords that I want to show up for, and I look at the top profiles that pop up, because obviously they're doing it right?
Exactly. So like, for instance, for me, I would maybe type in like, LinkedIn training or LinkedIn expert or, whatever, and see who consistently is popping up in the first, 5 people, or that, first, page there. Who's showing up consistently over and over again in the top 5. And then what I would do is I would look at that, profile, and I would see how they are using those keywords over and over again, and the different variations of that keyword. And then I would start incorporating that into my profile.
I'm smiling, Hannah, because I'm having a no-duh moment as you say that. I'm like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. And I'm like, but I've never done that. So clearly I've just got something to add to my to-do list, is to do some of those searches on LinkedIn with those keywords. Brilliant. I love it.
Right.
That's great.
And also now, if you have the premium, what they have now started doing is that they will actually give you suggestions when you go to, they have like a keyword optimization kind of tool where they'll suggest some keywords to you, and sometimes they are right on the market for what you want to be known for, but other times they're not, which is okay. You can X out of there, and then if you pull it up again, it will actually give you a new set of keywords.
Okay. All right. Okay. Cool. But that's just the premium version of LinkedIn.
That's in the premium, in the premium or the paid accounts. But otherwise, this is just a tried and true way of just going and looking at the top people that are coming up, the ways that they're using the keywords in their profiles, the different variations, and the same consistent keywords over and over again, and how you can start incorporating them.
Excellent. That is a very helpful tip. So let's talk about title fields. You said that's another place that we should pay attention to. So what do I need to know about getting the right keywords into the title fields, and which title fields?
Sure. So when you're doing your profile, obviously the most important thing that you ever want to do is you want to make sure that your keywords and your benefit statement are in your headline, right?
Okay.
But what happens is a lot of people, so a lot of times people will default to like just their job title, right, in the headline. So we want to make sure that that's much more spruced up with the keywords and, again, what you do as far as, keywords. Then when you create your title fields for your experience section,
Okay.
instead of, again, just saying account manager, or lawyer or attorney or something. You want to say experience, crisis management expert or something like that. So you want to make sure that you're using the keywords that people need you to have in order to solve their problem
Right. That
within.
that problem language in there, and
Right.
or that solution language. Yeah.
Exactly. And so not only are you attracting prospects because they see right away, oh, this guy is an expert in, crisis management or, you know, um, compliance, whatever. You want, I don't know.
Well, I get the point. I
Not my
understand.
field of
I
expertise. I
understand.
can't stand, the whole lawyer thing. But also if someone is typing in, compliance, expert, then attorney, compliance attorney,
Right. Or yeah.
then you're going to show up because the title field, as well as, the rest of the body of your profile, are going to all help counting in the weight of the algorithm that LinkedIn uses for search.
Right. So when I'm making these titles, stop thinking like resume and just my formal title and start thinking in this kind of search mode. Hey, I want someone to find this. What is their problem? What is the solution that I actually create around that problem? How can I rephrase my title to use that kind of language rather than, attorney at such and such firm, which is not what they're searching for, right? So
Exactly.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then, so that's title fields, but then obviously there are other areas, so in the actual bodies of things. So when you say sprinkle heavily, I mean, what are we talking about here? I mean,
Right. So
how heavy and where,
Okay. So here's the deal is, again, what do I always say? I always say that people on LinkedIn are still trying to build relationships with real people, okay? They're
Right.
looking to make sure that you are sincere and authentic, and you are someone that can solve their issues, that they can put their trust in you. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when you do take a look at that advanced search and you look at these people that are popping up consistently, some of them really do, they game the system. They're going to just start shoving keyword LinkedIn expert, LinkedIn trainer,
Right.
like all through their profile, and it looks like a robot. It just doesn't look like a human being. It's very obvious that they're just doing that. You want to make sure that throughout the body of your summary, throughout the body of your experience, through your interests, all of those things, that you are consistently putting in those keywords that help you rank. However,
But in English, right? In
you want to
English.
do it in a way that it's authentic and real.
Right.
Because otherwise, people just get turned off by you, and they understand that this is what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Right. If I can't read it, then I'm not going to read it, right? If it doesn't speak to me. So yes, I get what you're saying. I mean, you're talking about doing really good SEO as opposed to like stuffing words in there. So yes, make sure that you're using it frequently enough that that it's clear that this summary is about this problem area, this area of expertise. But use good English sentences. Communicate first to the human audience, and then double check to make sure you've got it in a bunch of places so that the algorithm picks it up and says, okay, yes, this is what this is about, right?
Right. And you can, keyword stuff a little bit, like when you list out, some people will list out specialties in the summary section, and you can do a list of those keywords, and that's fine to do. Or even in your interest section, you can kind of do that. You can put in, like I have, besides the fact that I like funny people or, kids with ADHD, like I say something like, I like out of the box LinkedIn strategies, or, LinkedIn training and development, or, whatever, because that is something that interests me. I keep up on my field, and, so it's all real.
Right.
But it is another spot that I can, put some of those keywords in.
Yep, excellent. So all great stuff. I mean, clearly keywords are really important because we all have to remember. Yes, I got to create a good LinkedIn profile, but it's got to show up in those search results. So that's why you're calling it that compass for people to find you. So we need to think this through. You've given us some great tips. I love the first one especially. I'm going to go and absolutely do that. Like I said, I had a no-duh moment. Yeah, do the search yourself for what you want to show up for. Look at the top-ranking people's profiles. kind of go through and see how they're sprinkling the keywords in their profiles and kind of mimic that and say, okay, I need to kind of do something similar so that I show up in this core group of people that are showing up. So love that. We talked about title fields and getting the words into those title fields. Also a great tip. And then sprinkling heavily in these other sections, not totally keyword stuffing, but getting it in there repeatedly and then getting it so that it lists over there. So great tips, Hannah. I know that you're out there, doing this kind of work to help people with their profiles. So we're going to put your contact information up on screen. Actually, it's been up on screen pretty much the whole time anyway. Any parting words for the audience here before we go?
No, that's it. Just thanks again for everything.
Excellent. All right, well then we will sign off, and we look forward to having you back for another episode soon of Linked into Lead Generation with Hannah Tighe. Till next time, Hannah, see ya.
Thanks so much.